Well, hello, bonjour, and welcome back to FIA World Rallycross here in France, Loillac, round 8, the 2019 World RX Championship. You're about to watch the crucial qualifying 4 for World RX and Euro RX, which will decide who will make it through to the semi-finals and who will be going home. The cars are starting to gather here in the pre-grid. Let's go and have a word with our new boy this weekend, Matvey Farashkin. I haven't spoken to him yet this weekend, so I'm find out how he's got on his first weekend in Rallycross. Can we just have a quick word with you, Matt? Your first weekend in Rallycross, you've come from autocross. Tell us how you've enjoyed it so far.
I enjoyed it a lot, but it's quite tough for me. Not so big difference, but need to adapt a little bit, but will be good.
And what do you think of this classic circuit? You must have heard a lot in the past about Loillac as one of the great Rallycross tracks.
Yeah, that's true. I hear a lot. I like it a lot actually by myself, and it's really good. Amazing weekend, amazing crowd here, and I enjoy it as never before.
Brilliant. Do you think we'll see you again?
For sure.
Oh, good. Okay, welcome to the championship.
Thank you so much.
No problem. So there we go, new boy, mind the door there. Let's see if we can grab a quick word. I just saw Guillaume de Ridder. Guillaume, if we can have a quick word with you. My heart goes out to you because you've not, again, a weekend that's been really difficult, but you're smiling. So what's the plan for Q4?
Yeah, I need to smile, otherwise I will be crying all the time, unfortunately. But again, a tough weekend for us this weekend. Even if the performance is not too bad here in France, that's a track that suits me quite well. But yeah, that's how it is. Now we need to move forward and to think about the next races and next year also. And I will give my very best in Q4, and we'll see what happens.
Bon courage, there we go.
Thank you.
Thanks. Let's see if there's anyone else. Oh, look over here. Let's have a quick word with Timo. Timo Scheider, lightning start yesterday, but not such a good Q3 this morning. How can you make up the damage from this morning?
Well, we had a pretty hard contact turn 1, so the steering was banned. So I had somehow a pretty hard fight after this. And then I got a hit on the rear right, had some damage on the bumper as well. So that cost quite some time, but we had some used tires. That was a good choice. And the next thing is we have some new now.
Oh, you got new tyres, all 4?
On the left.
Just on the left, okay. But
with this man next to me, so I'm looking forward. This is a legend of Rallycross.
So this is Hervé Napik. Hervé, it's great to watch you race again. Are you enjoying?
Je parle pas anglais, mais je vais parler en français. Ouais. Je suis enchanté et très heureux de partir avec Timo, pour lequel j'ai le plus grand des estimes.
Okay, so he's saying that he has great esteem for Timo Scheider, and it gives him great pleasure to race against him. So bon courage, mon ami.
Il n'y a pas besoin de courage, tout va bien.
Doesn't need courage. Okay, so all the drivers are now coming. There's Topi Haikkinen's car. Great performance from him so far. We may see him in the semi-final, ready for his one outing this year. Anyway, so let's head up to bring you up to speed what happened in qualifying 3 and all other matters here in France. Join our commentators at Andrew Coley and Dan Rook.
Yeah, we've got one more session to go. Interesting to hear Timo Scheider talking about tyres. Dan, we said that we felt that was going to be a key component of this weekend, and obviously he saved some.
Yeah, so save some and running them on the left-hand side of the car. Obviously, it's a clockwise circuit, so majority of the corners are right-handers, so having the fresh boots on the outsiders means he's going to be able to lean more on the car, have that little bit extra grip.
So maybe then we'll see some people put 2 on the left now and then 2 on the left for the semis?
I think so, yeah. That will generally be the way it will go. They'll use the new ones they had on the left, they'll probably switch them to the right, and then chuck new ones on again on the left.
Okay, and then by the time we reach the final, I'm guessing we're going to end up with most people with used, and they'll go through what selection of tyres they've got and choose the best of the rest on there. But they've got to get to that final. Dan, to do that, they really want to be on the front row, I think. Of course, 6 people go through, but front row gives you the best shot.
Yeah, front row here especially is definitely the best. Obviously, well, like everywhere else on the calendar, you're that bit further ahead on the grid, but it also gives you the best run through turn 1 and 2, which has proven to be quite a tricky one for the guys off the start.
Yeah, turn 1 and 2 is always exciting here. It was exciting in the last session as well, so here's a look back at what happened in Q3. So on board with Andreas Backrud for the run down to the first corner. If you look to his left-hand side, you'll see Niklas Gronon pokes his nose out, but ends up in the gravel trap. So Niklas Scheider as well. Look at this, super sideways from Timo, just dropping back a place. Scheider then a bit of contact with Baciuska. Baciuska got into the rear of Timo as well in the last corner, a bit of damage on the car. The end result of it all was that Backward snuck out just in front of Gronholm like he did yesterday. Good time by Backward, but the track was drying. Would it be enough? We'll find out. Timazyanov on the outside. Super quick start down towards turn 1 on the handbrake on the way in. Look at that sideways. You can see Toppy Haken now. Watch for Timmy Hanson. Tries to go around the outside. Toppy gets in his door. Toppy's got understeer. Timmy's got oversteer. They both get a trip through the gravel trap. The stewards looked into it, but no further action. Shisha had another dreadful start. Got left at the line. Timmy Hanson had to pass him on track. Anton Markland had no problems, no traffic. Won the race, but didn't beat Backward's time. Frustration for Shisha. What a shame. Trying to fight his way through to the finals in this last qualifying session. Kevin Hanson towards turn 1 on his left, Sabo on his right, Balmanis. He's in P3 at this point, needs a good result. Spoken to his coach overnight, got his head straight and was good to go. He said, I'm ready for a fight. We have one on his hands in P3 after turn 2. Pushed really hard, great joker tactics as you'd expect from the Hanson squad. Balmanis done, and then Sabo on the last lap. The gap was looking like it was going to be tight at this point in the day. The joker was quicker, relatively speaking, than it normally is, because the track was still drying. Hanson won. I think he went P4. It wasn't enough to beat Backward again. Then we were on to our 3-car races. Watch for Frashkin here, turning in across Derrida. Contact between them, and I think he was given a reprimand for that, if I remember correctly. Certainly the stewards looked into it. He then dropped it on the brakes anyway, and ended up nudging into the wall. Passed and won, but it was slower by now. The last chance then for somebody to do something amazing was Cyril Raymond, and he didn't unfortunately get the start he needed. Bennett and Napik in front. He managed to get past Herv Napik. Ollie Bennett was leading, doing a good job in the Mini. But Cyril Raymond had got him, and I think Bennett, in fact, doing well to hold onto the car here and not end up with it in the wall. Raymond took the flag, but he didn't take the session. Backward had done it in that first damp race of the day. So Andreas Backward, the 3rd different winner of a qualifying session here in France. Backward, Haken and Gronholm, Timmy Hanson, Bachuska, Scheider, Markland, Timazyanov, your top 8. Then it's Kevin Hanson up from 11th to 9th. Balmanis, Sabo, Liam Doran in 12th. Paye, Shisha, Raymond, the 3 French drivers just outside the semi-finals. Can they make it in? Well, as you'll be aware if you're a big motorsport fan, or if you're not, unfortunately, tragically yesterday, a young F2 driver, Antoine Hubert, was killed whilst racing at Spa-Francorchamps. The FIA World Rallycross Championship pays its tribute here today. Applause from the drivers. Okay, it's time to go racing here at Lowiac. Back to the action. First up, we've got a 3-car race on the inside. Guillaume de Ridder, Matvey Farashkin, Jonathan Paye. The Monster Energy girls down on the grid as we come towards the closing stages of qualifying. Got some quick drivers spread throughout the field for this session. Take a look at the grid for Q4 Race 1. Guillaume de Ridder on pole, Farashkin next to him, and Jonathan Paye on the outside. Everybody on used tyres, and everybody, I'm afraid, a long way down the order. They'd need a really fantastic run here and a few disasters for them to make it through to the semis. De Ridder has just had a rough year, I think. Farashkin and him got together in turn 1 last time in Q3. Jonathan Paye, I think, got left at the start line, if I remember correctly. So 3 drivers looking for a bit of redemption and another, at least a decent run to finish their weekend. Farashkin edging de Ridder. Paye's gone wide. He's going to make the cut back. Could have done that slightly earlier, I think, and got alongside. De Ridder's going to get this one. Farashkin drops to 3rd, so Paye with the right tactics, I think, Dan, but maybe to me, he was a little bit wide in turn 1.
Yeah, maybe not quite able to get the turn in he wanted on the way into turn 1 as Farashkin's gone to the joker lap to give himself that little bit of air. But yeah, it's nice to see de Ridder managing to get through turn 1 and 2 okay this time, and with the clear track out in front of him.
De Ridder with Paye right behind. Paye will have a lot of experience in this track, but it's a track that de Ridder's gone well at in RS2 before, isn't it?
Yeah, he's, I believe he nearly won the final here in 2017 in RX2, and I can't remember what last year in RX2. I'll have to look back and try and remember that one. But yeah, he's always run well here, and it's a shame that the weekend hasn't come together for him in his first time here in a supercar.
Paye goes to the joker. Bit of debris in the road there from Farashkin's Skoda. To come out in front of Matvey Farashkin, and he does. Interesting to hear from him talking to Neil that, you know, he feels he's really enjoyed it. He'd definitely be back, but he has some adapting to do. I think he's a confident young man. He's obviously nothing's particularly worrying him. He's just got to adapt, and we're talking tyres, setup, cars, format, starts, everything.
Yeah, there's so much for him to get used to, and obviously, you know, driving on a grippier surface than what he's used to in autocross and the Joga lap and everything else. So he is having to adapt, try and learn how to drive these cars on these mixed surfaces, and he seems to have gone quite well so far.
Derrida jokers and gets out in front of Paye. This is a good run for Guillaume. 37.2 on his last lap. Needed to get a decent lap in when the others had been to the joker and were pushing hard to overlap him.
Paye behind was down to 36.9, so maybe Paye had a bit more pace on Derrida, but Derrida getting the joke lap done early so that he could block him off from being able to charge too much.
Yeah, nicely covered by the team. It'd be nice for Guillaume to get something good out of the weekend here. It's not been terrible, to be fair. Where are the results for Guillaume? He had a 14th and a 16th, and then it was the 19th, was it, last time after that contact in turn 1 that really scuppered him. So Derrida takes the checkered flag, wins his heat racing Q4, but these guys not going to make it through to the semis. And the next one, we've got Timo Scheider, who's in 6th, Łukasz Baciuszka, who's in 5th, and Herve Napik, local legend, who won't make it to the semis, but respect to him for racing into his 70s in the World Championship. I was still at the start line yesterday, he launched it off. I was quite impressed. I thought, you know, in your 70s, still launching a supercar, a couple of G, I believe, in a supercar launch. It's not bad, is it? Big fan favourite. Derrida takes a win, 234.5. Paye second, Farashkin third. Even start, good launch by all three drivers. Paye went wide here, Dan, but for me, I say just a tiny bit earlier. You know, I don't know, I'm maybe being critical, but...
Yeah, I mean, I guess from him being so wide out on the track, it did mean he can carry the extra speed, but yeah, he wasn't quite able to get the jump on the other two guys there with him, but able to get one of them.
Farashkin, after Joker's played out, Paye in front, and then Paye hammering in a quick lap. And Derrida managing to hold on, went Joker to protect, and it was close. Look at the merge, but with that shorter run to the inside, Derrida doing a good job to close him off. Finally taking a checkered flag. Well done, Guillaume.
Guillaume, can you take some consolation from finally getting a race win?
Yeah, finally a clean race with a not too bad start, and yeah, then I put 4 clean laps. I've seen that Paye was just behind me, so I closed the door a few times, which cost me a bit of time, but still is good for the, you know, for the head, for the mind, to finish on a heat victory. So yeah, now focus on Riga.
See you in Riga. Bye bye.
Thanks.
Pressure is kind of off Guillaume now, isn't it, Dan? I mean, I think there is a pressure in that I'm sure that he will want to get at least one good result before the season's end. I don't think he's made the semi-finals, and I know he'd love to do that, wouldn't he, here or down in South Africa. Q4 race 2, another 3-car lineup. Timo Scheider on pole, Baciuszka, P2, Herve Napik on the outside. So our 5th and 6th runners, Baciuszka the overnight TQ, either of those guys would very much like to get onto the front rows. They need to get up to 4th for that. They're both very capable indeed. So Baciuszka's had a 1st, a 5th, and then that dreadful 17th. Scheider's had a 3rd, a 2nd, and a 16th. So it just didn't go their way in the last session. They were right there. It just goes to show a couple of good results will keep you up there, but one more good one could see them on the front row. Great start, Scheider on the inside, really hooked it up on the side. They're going to come down to turn one and take the whole shot. Surely Baciuszka slots in. Napping not doing anything silly through there. So Baciuszka now's gone on his side, went to take the Joker with Napping behind him. It probably can't be too soon, but it does depend what Herb does. So if Herb goes now and he doesn't, then maybe that would have given them some more options.
Yeah, he would have been hoping, well, at least his team, I'm sure he's probably not aware of what Napping's doing, but his team would have been hoping that they went in on that lap so that they had opened up the option for them to go on the next one. But now, obviously, it's a gamble of what happens with Napping behind, or if at least Baciuszka can pull enough of a gap to him in this lap to get in and out in front of him. He's already up to 1.2 seconds in front of Napping, and we saw him do a 1 second Joker lap yesterday, so we know he could pull that gap if he needed to.
Baciuszka and Scheider going together. Baciuszka does go Joker, so Baciuszka goes Joker now. And I think they're thinking they may be able to get him in and out in front. Whoa, it's another great Joker. That's exactly what Rockas did yesterday, Dan. That is full commitment, and that lovely one rotation of the car through the whole transition of the corner.
Yeah, he really managed to hook that up really well, didn't he? And I think having a slightly longer wheelbase car as well has helped him to be able to do that, to carry the slide going. And yeah, it was a fantastic Joker lap, but Scheider comes in with the fastest lap of the day so far.
The world guys were out early this morning. The track was still damp through the session, although it got faster, it didn't get anywhere near the sort of speeds we were seeing yesterday. Scheider hasn't gone to the Joker, and the gap's come down from 1.7 to 1.9, so I'm confident, 1.1, you're going to see fastest lap of the day to Baciuszka, because it's just come down to 0.9. Baciuszka is on a mission in the Renault Megane RS-RX. Here we go, let's see, I bet you that's fastest lap of the day. It's a 36.1. So it is, yeah. Scheider had done a 36.4 and a 36.5, but 36.1 for Rockas Baciuszka at the minute, going to edge it by half a second when Scheider goes Joker. Edon's fastest lap of the day, there it is. No one into the 35s yet, but it won't be long. I'm sure Scheider over the jump's going to lose out here because Baciuszka's already through. Rockas Baciuszka with a really mature drive here. Very much looking to drag himself onto the front rows. Is it going to be enough? 2:34.5, he'll beat the Ritter's time, but it's about whether it's enough to hold off the World Championship regulars. 2:30.4.
Fastest time of the weekend.
2:29s we've had, fastest time of today, I think you're right, Dan.
Sorry, today, my bad.
It's all good, don't worry, mate. We've been a lot of racing. I'm just looking up to see where he would have been yesterday. 2:30, what is it, 2:30.4. 4. So would have been third in Q1,
second in Q2.
Yeah, and Q3 this morning would have won Q3, wouldn't it? Yeah, because it's 2:30. Yeah, it was only at 2:32 this morning. So that's right up there.
Yeah, he's really put the hammer down when he needed to at that point.
He was just 3 points off the back. Timmy Hanson and Nicholas Gronholm were together on 119 qualifying points. He was only 3 points off the back of them. So he's hoping, isn't he? He's beaten Scheider, who was right behind him in this race and in the overall standings. There you go, top Herb Nappik, the French legend, who said in the press conference in English, reading off a sheet, "I'm old, but I can be fast," which was very funny. Down in 6th place in this one. Scheider with a great start off the line. Baciuszka's team, though, again with good Joker lap tactics, Dan.
Yeah, fantastic, and they were able to pull the gap on Nappik just in one lap to be able to put him in and out before Nappik had come around on the standard lap, and the gap in just one lap.
That's great, but they needed Scheider to be quick there too, didn't they, which helped, because if Scheider was quick enough to also gap Nappik, but then they went and that gave him just enough clear air, and he gained on Scheider, hand over fist, really quick. Baciuszka's looking dangerous. Is he quick enough to win the session? We've got 3 races to go.
Rockas, quickest time of the day so far, very good, but the trick is in the Joker. What's the secret?
I think the secret is because from the go-kart, the track is have a lot of chicane, and this is special for me because this one, if you get the right position, you can go without brakes and like straight, the line. You need to find the line, but sometimes if you took much too fast, you jump to land very hard. But now I passed Scheider and then finally I get space to do. I think the guys will do better because the track evolution is better and better.
Okay. But well done, skills. Thank you.
So Rockas thinks that the track will continue to get faster. Quick enough drivers in here to find out whether or not that's going to be the case. Let's see the grid for Q4 race 3. Here we go then. Now let's see the grid for Q4 race 3. Toppy Heikkinen on the inside from Fabien Payet, Yanni Parsonen, Gulan Schischrit and Oliver Bennett. Schischrit could maybe make it, as could Payet. Toppy Heikkinen is well in, but will want to hold on to a top position. Could he take the TQ? Car backward to not have a great run. Schischrit's gone all in on the tyres, 4 new ones. He needs a good start. 2 out of 3 have not worked out this weekend. Desperate for this one to be right. Much better. Down towards turn 1, Schischrit going to go second behind Heikkinen. Bennett's going to be on his inside though in turn 2. He pushes Bennett off. I'm not sure that's going to go down very well. So Schischrit holds on to second place, but he's up behind Heikkinen. Oh, Bennett's off into the wall. Bennett spins the Mini in the background into the wall. Is that a legacy of what happened in turn 2? I wasn't sure about the contact between him and Schischrit, but maybe Schischrit was just catching the car. It's hard to see. We'll look at the replays. Parsonen up behind Payet, but Heikkinen leads Schischrit.
Yeah, maybe we'll get to see the onboard replay from what happened there, and unfortunate for Bennett. I think he got tagged on the way out of turn 2, which put him into the wall, and yeah, it's not looking the Mini's not looking too pretty at the moment, is it?
No, it's not. Heikkinen, the big left foot on the brake to get the car turned in, waits on the throttle, uses all the time. Schischrit is looking fast. Remember, yesterday Heikkinen won Q1, so we know he's fast, but he can't get past and he can't joker at this point because of the traffic behind.
Yeah, so he's having to pick his moments and hoping that Toppy is going to be quick enough to be able to gap the guys that have already been. And interestingly, where Oliver Bennett went through the gravel on turn 2, there is loose chippings all the way across the track there. You can hear it hitting Schischrit's car from the onboard video, and that is going to be costing these guys. It's going to be a couple attempts, but you know, every little bit counts. You can hear on board now if you listen.
Yeah, there's a lot of loose, great spots. There's a huge amount of loose in turn 2. Maybe also in this break, it doesn't look like it from where he hit the wall on the outside, but turn 2 looking loose. Schischrit in the back of Heikkinen. I think maybe go joker, but you know, the guys behind, I suppose he's, what is he, 1.6. Payet's gone though, you see, he could have gone that lap.
Yeah, he's got the gap, and now he's having to follow Heikkinen to the line, and it's going to be just a train. He's going to have to try and pass him on track. Maybe he'll get a little bit more traction out of this corner, but Schischrit's looking quite aggressive. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to muscle his way through here somewhere.
So Schischrit, nothing on that timing screen about turn 2. We'll have a look and see in a moment. There they are, lining the cars up through that left-hander on the gas. You see the smoke off the back of Toppy's car from the contact with Gulan on the previous lap, down at this corner into the joker lap now. A little nudge again, maybe. Schischrit has been following so closely behind over the jump. Don't go deep here, guys. Up and over the curbs. Watch for Payet on the outside. They are fast enough, so maybe this was the right decision just to follow. We know Toppy's quick to 30.4. Bachuska's time in the sister car to Schischrit. It's slightly different, his car. I don't think it's going to be enough. It's not. So 2:31.8 for Heikkinen. 1.4 off. That's a great time by Schischrit. I have to say, I think he could have gone quicker. Unless Toppy was dragging him round in terms of line and things, I think Schischrit could have gone quicker there. We know the chassis is basically the same. I believe the difference is a dampers and engine between the Pro Drive car and these cars.
Yeah, so that being the difference of Bachuska's car and Schischrit's car. But yeah, I feel like he could have gone faster. He was constantly pushing Toppy, letting him know he was there. And you know, you wouldn't be able to do that if you were just on the same pace. You would have kept an equal gap. So Bennett's car there looking really sorry for itself.
Well, he doesn't look too cross, does he? But not ideal. Heikkinen takes it from Schischrit, Payet, Parsonen and Bennett with a DNF. Bachuska and Scheider are still fastest, look. So Schischrit with that 4th place. Fabien Payet with 5th at the moment. Can either of them make it through to the semis? On board with Gulan at the start. Gets a good start, little glance left and right. You saw him looking right in the mirror, top of screen. He gets a nudge from behind. Bennett, then he's on his left. I don't think he knew Bennett was there. There's no intentional malice in that at all.
No, you could see from his steering angle, he didn't switch direction either way. I think
from the previous.
I think actually he was touching the back of Toppy, and from there his steering must have gone.
So Toppy's released him effectively, and then he's ended up
fired off to the left, and then this is Bennett going into the wall in the background.
He went in quite hard, Ollie, to be fair. There might be a bit of damage to the front of that car. Well, there is a bit of damage. It's how much it is, whether it's superficial or chassis. Toppy, look, this was the contact up at the last, the hairpin at the far end. You can see it. From then on, the tyre was rubbing on Toppy's car. So the Megane is absolutely flying around here. They've really done well with that car this year, developing it. Just the starts which have let Guerin down this weekend. Find out at the end of this session if it's enough to see him through to the semi-finals at home in France.
Toppy, you've stepped back into World RX and you've made it through to the semi-final, which is great, but Guerin didn't make it easy for you there.
No, and I think we were a bit slow in this one. I couldn't find the traction from the car, and somehow and that's why we were struggling with the pace. But yeah, we won it, but the total time is not good enough. So yeah, let's go forward the semi-final for next, and want to say hello to the Finnish TV guys, because I know that they are there, and also to my family.
Thank you. Kiitos.
Henk getting the call from race control to load the grid. Timmy Hanson and Liam Doran have lined up alongside each other earlier this weekend in Q1. They were both hoping to go around the outside, and if I remember correctly, that didn't quite come off. This time they're on the inside. Timmy's up in P4. Liam down in P12. So Liam needs a good run here. There's only 2 races to go. We know that time of Bachu's got 2:30.4 is great, as is, to be honest, yeah, I mean, Scheider, Heikkinen, Shishley, they've all got decent times. But not ultimate pace. You know, is there a 2:29 in this track right now, Dan, or is that loose in turn 2 gonna scupper that?
I mean,
maybe it's cleaned a bit, or maybe the marshals have swept it. It must have been a bit watched.
Yeah, hopefully the marshals have swept that there, but I definitely think there is a 2:29 in the track. You know, Bachuska was fast, but he had a bit of traffic on lap 1, and
fast guys lining up. Q4 race 4. Timmy Hanson on the inside, then Liam Doran 12th. Really needs a good run here. Bauman is 10th, would like to cement that place. Cyril Raymond desperate. Could he get into the semis at home? Timozyanov is in 8th. So Timmy Hanson the most secure. He also needs the most points in that championship fight with his brother and Bakkerud. Green flag for these guys any second now. Pressure rising, every point counts for Hanson. Doran, nothing to lose in the championship fight, but wants to make it through to the semis. He's 12th at the minute. Baumanis and Timozyanov, we know how quick they are. Timozyanov with a great start on the outside, unbelievable start. The Hyundai going to try and cut across the pack into the side, and Doran runs the nose wide. Timmy Hanson gets the whole shot. Baumanis goes into P2. Doran is inside Cyril Raymond. Cyril Raymond trying to come around the outside on the run down to turn 3. I think Cyril Raymond down into P4 is Timozyanov. After a brilliant start, ends up 5th. Who's going to go Joker? Timmer goes in with Cyril Raymond.
Yeah, Timmer wouldn't have wanted to do that, would he? But I think he'd committed early to go into the Joker lap, and now the two are following each other through there. But yeah, I'm gutted for his first corner. He seemed to get the launch really well, but then couldn't hook it up around the outside.
The guys on the inside went deep, didn't they, on the brakes, pushed each other wide, and that left Timmer's line. If they'd been early on the brakes, I think Timmer might have made that stick, but it didn't work out. Hanson with Bauman is right behind Liam Doran now. He's, 2.1 ahead of Cyril Raymond. They might respond to that. Cyril Raymond will hope they don't, of course, because he wants to try and get some laps in and get past some of these guys.
Yeah, but he's got that clear air, but also he's got Timozyanov behind him, which he needs to go. And Liam Doran goes Joker. That's to respond to Cyril and Timozyanov behind him.
So it's actually got 2.2 now the gap, and it's going to be enough. So Liam Doran's going to come out in front. So Doran gets out in front of those two. Timozyanov, I think, will be a little bit frustrated behind Cyril Raymond. Cyril Raymond, we know, is fast with that Hyundai. I'm afraid I think he's got more pace. Oh, puncture for Timozyanov.
His front right is has collapsed through the top. He's got really strong camber on the front right wheel, so contact from that first corner, I think, has scuppered his chances.
35.9, Timmy Hanson, Edoc's fastest lap of the day. We're into the 35s. Balmanis goes Joker. 1.4 off the back of Ms. Liam Doran, so Liam's closer to Balmanis than he was. Watch for Liam on the outside. Balmanis on the inside, just a bit close. Balmanis has the shorter run. Liam Doran has the inside line, holds the place. Balmanis drops back, so Doran's on a big push here, but Timmy Hanson is 2.5 up as we go on to the last lap.
Yeah, Timmy Hanson's got this one in the bag, isn't he? Just got to drive his race now and not make any mistakes. He set another 35.9 on this last lap, but not quite as fast as the lap before, but he's still very consistent pace.
2 laps in the 35s is absolutely incredible pace from Timmy Hanson over the crest. Desperately wants to stay up front. He's in P4. He might see himself up further at this rate. Going to beat Liam Doran at the merge easily. Is he going to dip into the 2:29s? 2:30.4 the target time of Rokas Bachuska. Hanson coming around the left right-hander. This could be the quickest time of the weekend over the line. Timmy Hanson, 2:29.2. That is an absolutely brilliant time. Is it the quickest time of the weekend?
Yes, by a 10th.
There we go. Hanson, job done. Timozyanov frustrated after a brilliant start and then having to follow Cyril Raymond. Raymond with a 2:34.4. Schischrit's beaten him, and so's Paye. So the other 2 French drivers, remember the 3 French drivers are P13, 14 and 15. Obviously, the local crowd would love to see one of them go through to the semi-finals. We'll have the standings for you at the end of the session. Applause for Timmy Hanson, a fan favourite here. Of course, the Hanson family running with French brands all their life. Citroën and Peugeot. Running the old factory Peugeots here. And look at that time, 2:29.2. Timmy Hanson throwing down in Q4. Liam Doran, P2. That's surely going to help Doran out in his hopes of being in the semis. Was in P12 coming into this. Balmanis, Raymond and Timozyanov. That's where they slot in. Hanson fastest. On board with Timmer. This looked like a great start. You can see just right, there's no one there, but unfortunately, yeah, you see what I mean about them going deep. They've run the car out, haven't they, from the apex?
Yeah, both of the guys on the inside actually ended up running the car all the way out to the gravel trap, so no gap for Timmer. You can see they're already 2 abreast, and for Timozyanov as well, it was not going to happen unless he give it a massive pull on the bar and just sent it in backwards and pressed on the gas, but there's such a risk doing that.
He had to try, didn't he? With a good start, you have to try. If he'd had an average start, the better option is to drop in behind the pack. Doran, I thought, good job with the Joker strategy, because to me, Balmanis and Timmy were getting away from him, but Doran's laps in the Joker on the previous lap must have been great. Yannis is on it at the minute, and Liam edged him. Clever driving too from Balmanis, really sensible at the merge.
Yeah, very sensible. It's not worth getting in a fight now, especially when it comes to, you know, the last race of the qualifying sessions. He's already quite secure in the semi-finals, so wasn't worth trying to run the risk.
Yeah, don't give the team a load of work to do ahead of the semis. Timmy Hanson had some work to do. He got it done. Banged in a couple of 35.9s, and that saw him come out with a 2:29.2. Timmy Hanson leads Q4 with 1 race to go.
Timmy, the quickest time of the weekend so far. It looks like you enjoyed that.
Yeah, I really needed a good run. It was the first time that I got out in front after the start, and big thanks to the team who managed to put it together and figure out, like, we were losing something in the start. We've been focused on lap time and on speed on the track the whole weekend, and finally we were able to keep that speed from the beginning to the end of the race. It felt amazing to, you know, to give what I have finally, and I really needed this good one now. It was 4 brilliant laps, and the car is fantastic. The Peugeot is liking it in France.
Well done. See you in the semi.
Thank you.
The final race of Q4 at round 8 of the FIA World Rallycross Championship. Andreas Backrud currently in the TQ spot. Anton Markland, we've seen how quick the GCK Megane is round here. We know how quick Niklas Gronom can be in the Hyundai. Kevin Hansen down in 9th, needs to get further up. New tyres on the outside for him and Markland and Sabo, who's 11th after Q3. We've seen some quick times. He's going to need to go fast to hold on to that spot. So our World Championship 1 and 2 are in this. Kevin Hansen leads by 5 points from the poleman, Andreas Bakkerud. At the moment, Bakkerud will take more than those 5 points off him after qualifying. How's it going to stand after this? Great start by Bakkerud on the inside, but also by Gronholm. Bakkerud should hold on to the brakes. Gronholm going to try and go around the outside. Contact with Kevin Hanson with Markland on the inside. Going to try, Markland's going to try and go around the outside of Gronholm. Bakkerud is on the inside, but Markland's going to hold the right-hand side of the road and the brakes. Bakkerud's got him though. Bakkerud super late on the brakes. Kevin Hanson down in 4th place. Who's going to go? Joker. Markland goes that one and Sabo goes with him.
Yeah, it makes sense for him to go now, but you know, he's in the fast qualifying race. It's not like he's going to be coming out and being held up too much by Kevin Hanson. And
sideways from Gronholm, you can see from Bakkerud's on board.
Yeah, I noticed that actually. He wasn't able to keep the car in very tight on that corner. And you can see the two driver styles that come around the last corner. Gronholm really sideways, Bakkerud really neat and tidy, and he's gaining on the back of him sideways again.
If Bakkerud's got pace here, I think he should Joker now down. He's 1.6 seconds ahead of Markland. And Markland, we know the pace is quick, and Markland's got clear air in front of him, having Jokered, but they leave him out. They all stay out. I wondered if he might go then. When you're in a quick race like this, you could Joker early. We'll keep an eye on that gap. Yeah, and it's what is it, 1.3 now?
1.3, yeah, so he should have put Bakkerud in on that lap. It looks like he's losing a little bit of time to Gronholm, although Gronholm's pulled a small gap now, so I don't know, it's a bit up and down. Kevin Hanson's all over the back of Bakkerud now. Looking at the commentary position, you can see there, he's looking for a way past left and right, but he cannot find his way through.
I suppose really if Bakkerud beats Kevin in this one, you know, he knows he's going to beat him in qualifying, take some World Championship points off him. Kevin having a look through, maybe they're just playing safe. Is Kevin going to go? Kevin does, a little bit of handbrake, a little bit of throttle, rotates the car around over the crest. Here we go, over into the left and the right, watch for behind. Where's Markland? He's ahead already, and Sabo maybe too. Kevin's got to hold on from Sabo, going to slot in just in front, he does. So Kevin Hanson, but Markland is in front. Markland's only 1.2 off the back of Bakkerud now.
Yeah, so Bakkerud I think is now in danger of being trapped by Markland, but just looking at their lap times, none of them have got down to the 35s, the same as Timmy did in the previous race.
So Timmy Hanson looking on for winning the session, Markland looking on for winning this race. At the minute, our predictor says he'll go 0.2 in front. Gronholm goes into the Joker, as does Bakkerud. Watch for Markland around the outside. Gronholm over the crest. Bakkerud too. Kevin Hanson too might get them. Kevin Hanson coming around the outside. Gronholm's going to come out in front. Where's Bakkerud going to go? Going to slot in behind Kevin. So Niklas Gronholm around the last right-hander, chasing the time of Timmy Hanson. It's not going to be enough, but it nearly is. It's very quick. 2:31.2, fourth from Gronholm. Timmy Hanson wins Q4. That's 4 different winners of the sessions here in France. Who's going to win this weekend? Your guess is as good as mine. But qualifying is done. We'll have the standings coming up for you of Q4 and after Q4. And then crucially, what does that mean for the World Championship points? Niklas Gronholm doing a good job to win that one. I feel if they'd Jokered Bakkerud earlier, he might have been able to take that, but maybe he didn't have the pace. You know, maybe if the tyres are off, he didn't have enough pace. Gronholm from Markland, Kevin Hanson, Andreas Bakkerud and Sabo. Gronholm goes 4th. On board with Hanson off the line. Into turn 1, look, he slots in behind. Oh, it's a bun fight, isn't it, turn 1 here?
Yeah, it's kind of tuck yourself in and hope for the best, I think, in that situation.
Hold tight and wait for the hits, isn't it? Almost, and it not on purpose, but look at that, there's 4 or 5 bits of contact there where you couldn't really go, it's his fault.
No, there's no one to blame at this point, and Markland trying to go around the outside, and Andreas, I think, just had the extra grip and got back up past him.
Yeah, I was sure he was going to hold that line because he was clearly in front, wasn't he, as they came through that turn. Now Bakkerud say I thought maybe Gronholm was holding him up in the early stages, but later in the race, Bakkerud's tyres have gone off a little bit more, so we know they're all playing a bit of a tyre game coming towards the semi-finals. Gronholm going in, Bakkerud with him, and Bakkerud here actually was pretty sensible because he's got a reasonable margin at the top of the standings. You know that Kevin is a little way further back. Gronholm took it, but it's Timmy Hanson who won the session.
Niklas, you won the last race of qualifying before the semis and you're through to the semis. How was it?
Not too bad, but could have been better. I lost a bit of time on the first lap and then I was a bit too aggressive in the beginning, so I needed to calm it down, and after that it was okay, but But honestly, I should have won this qualifying to be higher up in the standings. So that's it's a bit more difficult for the semi-finals. But let's see what we can do.
Thank you, Kiitos.
Well, here are the standings at the end of Q4, and Timmy Hanson has taken the top qualifier spot. Rokas Bachuska goes second, and Andreas Backrud drops down to third. So Niklas Gronholm fourth, then it's Toppy Hagen and Timo Scheider, Anton Mark and Liam Doran. Where is Kevin Hansen? Kevin Hansen is in 10th. Baumanis 9th, Kevin Hansen 10th, Sabo 11th, and Timur Timosyanov 12th. And I think that means that the lead of the FIA World Rallycross Championship has changed here in France. So none of the French drivers have made it through. They were all just outside there, but Dan, crucial qualifying stages here. Timmy Hansen doing a great job of the end. I was actually surprised. I'm looking up at the points here. I really thought that Backrud had enough of a margin to hold on to the TQ spot, but losing those spaces in that final race, Timmy Hansen's got it.
Yeah, he didn't look, if you just look at the times here, actually, he's down in 11th from that session. So although it looked like a fast race, actually being further down in the positions, he wasn't able to get the points.
Yeah. Timmy at the front is ahead, and then basically slow race. Basically, they didn't get the job done. I mean, Gronholm was okay in fourth, but not amazing. Anyway, right, this is what's key. What are the World Championship standings after Q4? There we go. Andreas Backrud leads the FIA World Rallycross Championship for the first time this season, and it's closed up massively. It was a 5-point gap between Kevin Hansen and Andreas Backrud. It was 14 between Kevin and Timmy. They are all now within 7 points of each other. Backrud, Kevin Hansen, Timmy Hansen, 7 points separate them. It's going to be an incredible end to this weekend and indeed to the season. Niklas Gronholm's only a few points off the back of that lot as well. He needs it. Oh man, I'm loving this season. I hope you guys are loving it at home. Let us know. What are you thinking? What do you think about Backrud leading the standings? Yes, it's not the end of a weekend, but it all counts. It all counts. Okay, on to Euro RX. Let's find out who's going to be TQ for them. This one's got a Janko Sonderevchen and Rodolphe Audran. Drivers waiting patiently for the off. I need to have a little think about the World Championship, Dan. I know we're looking at Euros now, but it's you think Backrud and Timmy were absolutely out of contention in Abu Dhabi. Remember the crash? They were so far behind, and now there's just 7 points between the top three. It's amazing. Brilliant season. Evgen gets the jump here. Audran going to slot in front of Janko. Little tag maybe, but holds on. Sonder Evgen. Overall, we know he dropped a fair way down, didn't we?
19th.
Yeah. So, okay. What is it? Yes, 10 odd qualifying points. Basically, Evgen needs to bang in the kind of laps we saw from pre-practice on Saturday morning. He needs to bang in those kind of laps, the sort of laps that we'd see him on World Championship pace, and get right to the front. Interesting what Gronholm was saying a minute ago. I needed to win this qualifying session. All that is the difference between, where was he? P2, he was P4. So, you get an extra 5 for the win, then you get an extra 3, then an extra 2. So Gronholm missed out on 10 qualifying points. It could have seen him 2 places further up. It's 2 more World Championship points. It's a front row or a pole in a final. It all counts. Evgen needs a win.
Yeah, 100% he needs a win, but I think he's capable of doing it. I feel like he's not actually had a great races so far. Well, obviously he's down at the first lot of the European drivers out there, but he's had pace. Like his practice times and warm-up times were up there against Larson, for example, and I just feel like he's not had his break in any of these races, and now he's got that clear bit of track. We can see what he can do. He set a 36.6 on that last lap there, which is obviously he's about 7 tenths off the back of Timmy Hansen, but of course Timmy's in a World Championship car. But yeah, he's thereabouts with the rest of the pace of the field in the World RX. So.
Yeah. But he's got to string that together. When we say he needs a win, he's not got to beat these two. He's got to destroy them, hasn't he? Because he needs He needs to be right up there in the standings of Europe. We've got 6 races. You know, how many cars? We've got 26 cars. He's absolutely got to be at the sharp end if he wants to stand a chance of making it through to the semis. Long way in front, miles in front. Janko is taking the Joker, but this is a good drive from Evshan into the Joker lap this time round. And in the 36s on all 3 laps, Dan. I'm impressed. 36.8, 36.6, 36.8. Come on, Sondra, put it together. Janko's going to get all round at the merge, just about. Evshan needs to be patient on the throttle in the final corner. Here we go, going to stop the clocks where? 2:32.4. That would have seen him in World. That would have seen him 10th in World. That's the same pace as Kevin Hanson. So I don't know if that says it's great for Sondra or not as good for Kevin. Oh, well, yeah, Dan, looking at the timesheets.
2:32.6 was the fastest time from Q2 yesterday for Euros, which is around roughly the similar time of day. So that was the winning time for JB yesterday.
So Sondra Evshan then. The only person who's gone faster than Sondra Evshan in Euro is Larson in Q1. So well, we talk about commentator's curse. This is the opposite. This is what we call a commentator's blessing. When we talk about you for a whole race and you don't nose it up, you set an epic time. Yes, Sondra Evshan.
You are welcome.
Yeah, 2:32.4. The invoice is in the post. Ollie O'Donovan, DNS. Ollie, though, says he likes the commentary box backdrop. Next time we're in here, you'll have to have a look. So Evshan got the whole shot and then just got the job done, Dan. That's the kind of race you want.
Yeah, just a clean getaway, and then from there he didn't have any trouble, did he? No traffic, you know, no battles with anybody. He was just racing himself and the clock, and that was what he had to do. Oh, who's that? Audran having a bit of a mistake.
All crossed up, or just a really complicated Scandinavian flick there. He was really going for it.
It was
double
a French
send.
flick.
Yeah, French flick. It's a double send. Janko got Audran, but Sondra Evshan, only Larson beat him in Q1. That is a brilliant time.
Sondra, that was a really good time. You must have enjoyed it, but do you think it's enough to get through to the semis?
I'm not sure. I've struggled all week and I didn't have power steering in Q2 and 3, so I had a couple of rough rounds there, but we'll see now. I think it's a top 5 time at least, so hopefully it can put us in the semi.
Good luck, thank you.
Thank you.
2 tickets to the gun show if he didn't have power steering. Must have some serious guns on him. Damn, one of these cars without power steering is a mission, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so hard. You just got to think of the force that's, you know, going through the whole car, and then you've got to try and steer that around the circuit as fast as you can. It's a hard task.
Yeah, it's not like having an old car with no power steering. This is a car with broken power steering, which is basically even harder to steer. So great job by Evshan. Finally gets a clean run. This one's got Pascal Lambeck, Emmanuel Galivel and Derek Tohill in it. Derek, who was leading his last run, 17th. Again, you know, if he could do an Evshan performance here, could maybe drag himself in, but it's a big ask. Tohill with a great start. Straight into the lead.
2 tenths faster than anybody on the reaction times you can see in the top left corner of the screen.
It should be 0.3 or 0.4, really, shouldn't it? I mean, I hate to think what mine would say if I had it in half an hour or something, but that's a good reaction time. To be fair to the other 2, I'm afraid that's a bad reaction time, isn't it? You know, 0.3 is good, 0.4 is decent.
Yeah.
Other than that, he's like, oh, come on, guys,
yeah,
wakey.
0.3 is good. Anything before that seems to be a guess, but actually what you mentioned about judging your reaction time, I have an app on my phone which can test your reaction time if you'd like to have a go
we'll
after
have
the show.
A go at that, Dan. Yeah, we'll definitely be having a go at that. I'll tell you what else I've had a go at in the break. I went up Tom, the cameraman's crane.
Oh, I did see that, yeah.
Yes. They were like, it only take 5 minutes, but it took a long time because it goes up 38 metres, which makes it the highest crane we use all year. I've been up the one we used to use at Mete, up at the Joker Lap. That was pretty high, but this one was, okay, wow, really high. Basically, if the fighter jets had come across, I would have been ducking, let's put it that way. It was very high. I've got some great photos from up there. Oh! Go on! Light it up! Bit of a mistake there, I'm afraid. Not what Lambeck was looking for in terms of the ideal line. Full of bravery, though. We'll see if we can see Tom, the cameraman's crane in a minute when the race finishes. We'll let you know when we're on Tom, the cameraman, as well. Basically, he is your man for a number of shots because he's so high up, but it's based, I think he's choking that merge through the last couple of corners. You'll know, as I say, it's really high. Here comes Derek. There we go.
That'll be Tom.
Tom, the cameraman. It's a great view, it really is. Tom with a lovely wide shot there as well, so you can see the whole of the paddocks down the right and across the rear, off into the distance there. Look at Tom, the cameraman, showing off with a big wide shot. I like it, Tom. Steve, the director, as well, I'm sure, in there. Right, come on, Derek, what are the lap times like? 38, 37, yeah, you see.
It's a second a lap off.
Yeah, mid-36s, so still a good run from Derek, but Sondra with an exceptional run. I think he's going to go, I'm calling it, I reckon Sondra's going to be top 3.
I'm going to go 4th, just to
be different.
Mix it up.
Just to be difficult. Toe Hill on the last lap, coming around the final corner. Missed the time of Evgen already. Goes 3rd. A few more cars still to come, though. 4.6 seconds slower than Evgen was in the 111 machine. Been busy with that car this year with British Rallycross and European Rallycross. He's been doing the Irish stuff as well.
I'm not sure.
No,
Can't say I've caught anything on social.
Start of the year, I think the first British round went really well, didn't it? And then I think he decided he'd do a few more.
First round was at Silverstone, wasn't it? Hey, there's Tom.
Hey, Tom. There he is. We're going to see the return shot of that in a second. So, yeah, I went right up to the top of that. Oh, good God, it really is quite high, isn't it? Yeah, that's high. But that, it's an epic view. It is an epic view. Derek Toyle takes it. Emmanuel Gallivell and Pascal Lambeck with an extra gravel section. Ollie O'Donovan's still on the list as a DNS each time. We've got a few mentions in for you, Ollie. At the minute, Evgen leads by 5 seconds in this session, so shows you what a good job he did, I think. Tohill keeping it tidy up front. Yeah, did his best. Is this our off-road moment? Yeah, it is. So there's, yeah, basically, I think he's tried to run the car a little bit wide, and you could see there, couldn't you, that Gallivell was coming round and thinking, do you know what, actually that's he might come back on the track there. I think give him a bit of space.
I think he needs to resync his sat nav. He got a bit lost there.
It's slightly off, isn't it? The track map was not where they thought it was. Tohill takes it, but a fair old way back from Sondra Evgen.
Derek, it was a good heat win. How was it from the driver's seat?
Yeah, it felt pretty good. There was a little bit of gravel pulled out on the second last corner, which made it a little bit slippy. But it's probably too little too late. I dropped it in the last tees. There's a hole forming in between the exit of the Joker and the last corner, and I dropped it in that hole. Spun out the last time. Never know, I did our best there. See where the time comes in, and you never know because this is Rallycross.
Well done, Derek, thank you.
Thanks to the team, all the hard work. 3 o'clock this morning.
Fair play to Derek there, thanking the team. That's great to see. The marshals are out there with the blowers and the brooms. There's a lot of gravel there, but they're doing a good job of sweeping it out of the way. Really important to make sure the conditions are fair for everyone. Derek's team, the lads work really hard. And 3 a.m, that's late, you know, that is late. I remember Per Ekland's guys pulled an all-nighter at Sweden a while back. I can't remember whether it was, if it was Henning they pulled the all-nighter for. Oh no, was it Barcelona? Can't remember. All-nighter though, proper all-night. Literally finished the car and rolled it up for, like, you know, free practice or warm-up, whatever. Brilliant. You gotta love it. It's amazing what you can do with a bit of determination. Q4 race 3, Emmanuel Ann, Alice Vucic, Tilla Moser, Paulius Pleskavas and Mark Flaherty. Derek saying that he'd spun the car in that hole, which we took a look at, if you remember, with our cameras after the last session. Oh, somebody going a bit early there on the old limiter. Steady on, it's only a green flag. You've got to let the Duke out of the way before you can go send it. Marshall lowered the flag. There's hang on, hold on. No, that's because we've still got marshals on the track. They're walking back now then with the blowers. They're just going to get them back away. Our commentary box is up in the hospitality area. We've got a couple of spectators looking in through the window at the minute.
Hello, fella.
How are you doing? He seems quite intrigued. I think he's wondering why we're sitting in a small glass panel box, which we took the roof off because it's too hot. So when we go mad, they can hear us. They're only about 6 feet away, all having a canapé and a bit of champers. And me and Dan are in here shouting, getting excited. They're sort of looking over like, who are they? Why are they in there? Why are they wearing that? What's that pink polo shirt? Right. Decent start from Vucic in P2. Emmanuel Ann quicker on the inside, bit of contact. Oh, Mark Flaherty into the back there. All in a line before the run to turn 3 at least. Emmanuel Ann from Vucic and Moser. Vescovas and Flaherty go to the joke lap. I guess Flaherty was hoping that wasn't going to happen. You know, when you go, you want to go on your own, but...
Yeah, he's not wanting to be following him through. He was pushing him all the way through turn 1 and 2, but then he'd already committed to the Joker, so that was where he stayed, and he would have lost more time trying to back out of it and go into the standard lap.
Super sideways from Vucic, but in a great example there between Vucic and Emmanuel Ann. He was right on Emmanuel Ann, mega sideways, and literally dropped 3 car lengths off him instantly.
Yeah, that just goes to show how neat and tidy you have to be around this circuit. You know, any sideways motion is motion that you've lost from going forwards. You know, if you're spinning up the tyres, you're losing grip from going sideways rather than trying to gain grip and go forwards.
It's important that we point out, isn't it, that that's a characteristic of this track. It's not that rallycross cars now have to be driven straight. I mean, the likes of Christopherson and Extra and Loeb have proven that you can be extremely quick by not being that sideways. But you go somewhere like the Estering, and it's full send mode straight away. So yeah, Canada, there was a lot of sideways in Canada. It depends on the surface, doesn't it, as to what style will make the car work.
Yeah, if you've got really thick gravel, you have to throw the car around a little bit to you know, pick your way over the ruts, and you've got to be aggressive to fight your way through that sort of track surface. But when you have a surface like this where it's kind of smooth all the way around, the best way is to be like a circuit racer.
Yeah, good to have a mix of circuits on the calendar and deep gravel. You know, smoother, hard-packed stuff like this where it's just a very little loose on top of a plain surface, so still unsealed. I'd quite like to see watering. I've said that before. You're just a sprinkler which runs at a certain rate, so you maintain a dampness to the track in a couple of corners. Why not? You know, when it rains, it's always mega exciting racing. As long as you can guarantee you can keep that dampness, it would have to be adjusted. You know, if it's in Abu Dhabi, it needs to be on all day long. If it's in, I don't know, Norway, potentially not.
Yeah, it would be an interesting feature, wouldn't it? But it would be hard to try and
keep it consistent.
Maintain that consistency. Yeah,
it'd take a bit of practice. Yeah, it would take a bit of playing around with it. Emmanuel Ann takes the race, 2:37.2. Nowhere near Evshan, 5 seconds off. Evshan still leads this session by 5 seconds. How many races are around here? We're 1 full race in, so there's 3 full races to come. Dubourg currently in the TQ, JB, that is, because remember there's 2. Larson is second. JB Dubourg is actually 7 qualifying points ahead of Larson. Munich a further 7 back. His brother Andrea a further 5 back. Sondra Evshan on 79 was 11 points off the top 12. Emmanuel Ann, Vucic, Pleskavas, Flaherty and Moser. You see where they go. Not near Evshan. Look at the top of the table. Nearly 5 seconds. If he's at the top of the table at the end of the session, Evshan can book a spot in the semis, which based on his pace on an outright lap, he deserves.
Flaherty getting a bit racy there into the back of Pleskavas, trying to find a way through, but it didn't quite work out. Ended up jokering with him as well.
Yeah, not what you need. Not too much carnage, but I'm afraid not too much pace either. So, win for Emmanuel An. Currently in 16th though, and I don't think we make it through to the semis.
Emmanuel, you look really happy. Must feel good to win at home in France.
Yeah, I'm so happy to win this race. It's very important for me, for my family, for sponsors. It's great, it's magic, it's Loiac.
Merci, thank you.
Right, so I guessed that Sander Evjen was going to go third, didn't I? No, top three, I said. Dan Rugg said fourth. Johan Kristoffersen's just WhatsApped and said, my guess is second. Thanks, Johan. I'm guessing Johan's either not racing this weekend or is in somewhere in the world where he's got an 8-hour time difference and therefore is able to watch Rallycross. But good to know you're watching, mate. Wish you were here. Barbosa on the inside of Deganay, Mellier, Patrick Guillaume and Mandy August. Might be able to deal with a couple more questions just before we get towards the sharp end of this. Get away from the start. We've got one for Dan about Loiac in a minute. Good start from the inside three. Deganay and Mellier side by side. Deganay's going to get the whole shot. Little tap from Barbosa on the inside. Mellier runs at the back wheel. Mellier into the wall. Mellier hard into the wall on the outside of turn one. No retardation of the speed there at all, I'm afraid. I think got fired up over, unless there was a braking draw. He was just in the dust and a bit shocked. Either way, ended up straight into the wall. So I don't know if that car's going to get reversed out or not. We'll soon find out.
I can see from the commentary position he is piled in there fairly hard. Doesn't seem to be making a move at all, but I'm also not seeing him trying to make an effort to get out of the car either.
Well, the marshals will be across it, of course. We'll keep an eye on that situation. Car parked over in the barriers, double wave yellows there. Ganay's still leading from Barbosa. He's moving around the car. We can see him moving around the car. It wasn't well, it was a sizable impact. You'd be sore, Dan, wouldn't you? But you'd be fine.
Yeah, it's the stopping motion that hurt there. Like it is the sudden stop that tends to do, the painfulness inside the car. You've been hung in the belts there, really pushed against him, but he's moving around. He's okay in the car, and that's good to see.
Guillaume has taken the joker at the back of the pack, and Guillaume is now only 2.8 off the lead, so he's within 1.7 of Barbosa in P2. So this is a good move by Patrick Guillaume, who's currently in 10th place in his Hyundai i20, which, as we said earlier, is not from the GRX squad. Dan, can you explain what it's like as a young driver coming to an event like Loiac with a huge crowd? What was your experience in 2017? Mandy August goes joker.
For me, like I said earlier, actually was probably my worst weekend of racing at this track. I didn't go on too well at all, but to be among the crowd and everything was really great. You know, they're all so super enthusiastic here. They've got a great passion for Rallycross, and I remember I was on the way to doing one of the autograph sessions, and when you're one of the RX2 drivers, of course you're not normally, very well known, but I was overwhelmed by the amount of people that wanted to stop and have a photo and all the rest of it, and it was great to be amongst it and know how passionate the people are for the sport.
Yeah, they love it. They watch it, don't they? They watch it intently. Deganay goes joker. Guillaume's going to go up to P2 here. Nicely done. And then, this is later in the season. By then, they'd have seen you were one of the championship front runners, probably against Cyril Raymond, who's the home driver. Nice to know, isn't it, as well, that there's the support there for that. 2:34.7. Finally, someone gets closer. 2.2 off Evjen. But yeah, great atmosphere here. They love their rallycross. They follow it. They don't just follow French rallycross. They're watching international rallycross. So I know there's a lot of French viewers who watch these feeds in English, and we really appreciate you doing that. So welcome along, guys. I was really hoping we'd see a French driver in the semi-finals for you in the World Championship, but at least you're going to get a ton of them in Euros, I'm sure of that. And with JB de Boer being on such great form, you might even get a French winner. I know that would go down really well. Good drive by Deganay and by Patrick Guillaume as well. That should see Guillaume into the semis. Where was Deganay? Deganay was 14th and Guillaume was 10th. Mandy August, where was Mandy? Mandy was 13th. Barbosa down in 18th and Milio DNF, so that doesn't matter so much. We'll take a look in a minute where they go. Oh, there you go. Yeah, so those top four look all go in. So August, Guillaume and Deganay all stand a chance of making it, depending on what everybody else does. So Efshed still leads. Guillaume actually got a bad start there.
Yeah, he didn't quite get away, did he? But we're going to see the incident there.
I don't really understand why there was no braking.
I mean, he started braking a bit late. I think maybe he went to... It's almost like his steering broke. There was no effort to try and turn the car.
Yeah, and then by the time you're in the loose...
By the time he realised that the steering was broken, he couldn't get out of it, he hit the brake pedal.
Ouch. Guillaume had gone Joker by now. Mandy August coming out behind. Deganay out front. Guillaume slotting into P2, so a good job by Deganay. Just got to see what everybody else does.
Stefan, that was a really good time. Talk us through it.
Yes, I think so. I drive very, very fast for this Q4 to the semi-final, so I try to drive very fast. So
good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's what you got to do.
Drive fast.
He did indeed. He did drive fast. Say he was in P14. Two races left. Okay, right, so we've got recovery crew attending down at turn 2, and our driver is he out of the car, in the car? He's still in the car at the moment, so... Okay, so shaken up, Melier. We have the very best medical crews in attendance, FIA medical delegates and all sorts at the FIA World Rallycross Championship. The same when it's a Euro event, but we're all good. Right, let me have a look. Let's see what questions we've got come in. We've had done... Okay, can we explain the Ericsson's relationship? Well, a lot of Ericssons. So if you don't, you know, we have many Ericssons. Well, 4.
4 Ericssons, yeah.
So the oldest Ericsson, sorry, Andreas. The oldest Ericsson who's actively in the paddock a lot is Andreas Ericsson, who has been a rallycross driver himself, very successful. He has 2 sons who are Kevin Ericsson and Oliver Ericsson. Kevin Ericsson is round the outside. Kevin Ericsson from the Estering, and is a little bit older than Oliver Ericsson, who is leading
the RX2.
And is the current champion in RX2. Sebastian Ericsson is not related. Has the exact same spelling in the surname. And when they had 2 cars at Hollius with the exact same liveries and both with Ericsson written on the top, I was not amused. But they did do, what was it? Was it just the
wing
numbers?
Mirrors, I think.
Wing mirrors and numbers. Thanks, guys. So if they're watching. So that's the Ericssons. There's 4 of the Ericssons for you. What else have we got? That might be it, I think. I think we've gone through them all. Well, apparently people are loving the polo shirt, Dan.
I saw a few questions, actually. You guys asking if I had a job lot of them to go on the shop. I didn't actually create the shirt. Coley does actually have an official fan club here. They've got a motorhome down in the paddock,
which is full of beer, and is where you'll find me after the press conference.
So yesterday, Coley invited them round to give them a tour of the TV truck.
Yeah.
And when they were on their way out, I quickly grabbed one of them and said, "Have you got another one of those pink shirts?" And they said, "Catch up with me later." So I went down. I had a couple of beers with them before I headed off from the track, and that's where I picked up my pink polo. But I've been sweating all morning. I had to have this on underneath, and then the pink one, and then my coat zipped all the way up. It's scratching against my chin.
I'm standing here looking at the thing, and the producer's telling me, Murray's going, "I think we can see your fan club." I'm like, "Oh no!" Like, a bit embarrassed, you know, I shouldn't really have a fan club. And I'm like, "Oh, they might be out there somewhere." And he's been behind me getting unchanged. I'm looking down here, and then we appear in his red. So anyway, it was very funny, I say. I'm very, very fond of the TV team, and indeed of the guys in there. They're not pink shirts, by the way. They'll tell you they're fuchsia. Neil Cole is down in the paddock. Let's go and have a catch up with him while we wait for racing to get back underway.
Yeah, with French rallycross legend Antoine Massé. First of all, congratulations on being in the fastest race in qualifying 4, almost definitely going through to the semi-finals, and a chance of a French win here in Loyac.
Yeah, I hope so, of course. Yesterday was difficult for me. I am sick. I lost my voice. Yeah, so difficult yesterday, but today is better. This morning will be good. Was good. I hope to be good on the next heat, and if I can be 6 after the heat, will be good, because after second one on the semi-final, after all is possible.
Now, the TV team are very, very admiring of your livery here. Talk us through the style of the car. It's like a fighter jet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a fight mode. This weekend I need to fight, so I did this. This cooler.
We're going to target on the door, which isn't always a good thing when you've got drivers looking out for something to hit.
Yeah, but for the moment it's okay. Nobody can on my door, so it's all right.
Bon courage. Thank you. Thanks. It's nice to see you.
We like that livery. We had a question earlier, favourite liveries. I like any livery which is a bit different. So I loved it when the Peugeots came with the matte liveries last year or the year before. I love that. I think that's great.
Yeah, I love a matte livery. It's something that I wish I had done, actually, when I was competing.
Yeah, it's cool. Quite like cartels this year. There's definitely an influence from the old Works Ford RS200 in that, which was the Ford stripes, the white through to the blue.
I heard rumour from, who was it from? Oh, Dave Mansfield. He said that Andreas was actually trying to copy Ken Block, his old team boss.
Oh dear, well, we're still waiting, for a recovery down at turn 2. So it was a firm impact into the barriers, and we'll remain away from that until we find out that David Mellier is okay. I say we'll be shaken. It was a fair hit into the barriers. And I say our top medical crews are in attendance, and we'll get him looked after. Neil Cole's managed to find the De Bourg brothers, JB and Andrea De Bourg, who are both doing a fantastic job in Euro. JB De Bourg is potentially going to go for the top qualifier spot. Of course, those guys are both waiting for their last qualifying race, which is the final race once we get back underway.
Yeah, we've got Andrea and Jean-Baptiste. We can see the race almost ready to go off the start line before yours, but you guys were standing here just waiting, but separately. I mean, have you got different strategies? Are you not speaking?
No, we're speaking. This is my brother. Okay, this is also another driver, but we are very respectful between us. Together we make an incredible job, and we increase our level together. Together we are more stronger than alone.
So do you actually have a strategy if you come together in the race?
No, it's too hard at the beginning to say, okay, if I am first, you take the jockey lap on the second one. It's too hard to plan this kind of plan. So actually, if he go first, he do his own race, and the same thing for me.
Okay, cool. Well, look, good luck in your race and in the semis and the final, and maybe we'll get a French winner here in France. You think?
Thank you.
Thank you, guy.
Yeah, they don't want to suggest whether that might happen, which I understand. They'd absolutely love it. They're both up at the sharp end. If there was ever a round of the European Championship they'd like to win, to say JB's been on the podium in the World Championship. And talking about the World Championship, we've got two brothers there. Interesting, isn't it? The Hansons are a very close family. They say it a lot. They play on it a lot. We know that. They race together. They don't live together anymore, but they get on so well. But it's interesting that De Bourg's saying the same thing there. Look, we're stronger together. Because it's a teammate. We were in ARX over in Canada, and Tanner Faust hasn't had the support necessarily this year of Cabot Bigham, his teammate, because Cabot wasn't on the pace. He is now on the pace, and Tanner was saying you need one guy in the pack who you can rely on. He's not going to drive into you, he's not going to take you out. That's just his teammate. On this occasion, it's your teammate and your brother.
Yeah, so having that extra bit of support, it means that especially if they're starting side by side on the grid, they're not going to try and do anything stupid, a big squeeze on each other or anything like that. So it's just helpful to have that person there who is not going to drive into you.
Dan, these guys with a delay, you can see the De Bourgs actually smack in the centre of your picture there, and their car's parked up behind you. Obviously the guys in the cars are getting a bit hot. Luckily the sun has just dipped behind a bit of cloud at the moment, but having to wait, not ideal, is it?
No, not at all. They're going to be getting really hot in those cars. Fireproof overalls, which are triple layer, and then they're going to have fireproof underwear on underneath that, a helmet.
What about the head game, though? Particularly for the De Bourgs, who are just, you can see they're all fired up. They're just desperate to get in the car and get going. They're now standing there. You know that sort of awkward, arms folded, walking around in circles, kind of don't really want to talk, just want to get in the car and go.
Yeah, it is a horrible thing to have to sit and wait to go off of the grid. And I mean, it's going to be hard for the guys sat in the cars, but also the guys further behind who are trying to keep cool. But you know, they'll probably be wanting to sit in the car and zone out away from everybody so that they don't get that extra distraction.
Some of the crew down there, the reason the crew can't come any further forward is the fence line, which is at the back of the pre-grid. You might be able to see it from the top shot. If we pull back a bit on that, you'll see there's a fence line, and against that fence, there's the sign, bottom left of your screen. Right now, there's a sign leaned up against a cone, and that's basically got a spanner on it with a cross across it. You can see one on the bottom right of your screen as well now, and that is the line down that the technical crew cannot cross.
Yeah, once you've crossed that line, you are on your own as a driver. If something goes wrong with the car, the crew are not allowed to come and try and fix it.
Only time I've ever seen that excuse is to get a door closed, which is fine, because whether it's within the rules or not, it's one of those things I think with us just go, do you know what, it's better to get the door shut. Sometimes we've seen that on the grid, but particularly if there's a hold up and you end up having to open your doors, it's fine, isn't it, unless you've had a bit of damage. But Jean Todt still here. The president of the FIA was here yesterday. He took a walk around the track, as well as having some pictures taken with the drivers on the grid for the FIA's worldwide road safety campaign. Jean Todt, a big campaigner for road safety and motorsport, a great way. It seems a strange way to line it up, but it is. You know, there's so much about motorsport is about calculating those risks, and Jean Todt here. He's been here a couple of times, I believe, to take the photos. It's great, the road safety, Action for Road Safety. I know they've had footballers involved in it as well. It's about trying to educate countries. You know, in Europe here, where everybody wears their seatbelts, it's just normal, but they're trying to educate some countries where they're not to that point yet on the benefits of wearing a seatbelt, on the benefits of driving more slowly in a built-up area. You know, to us, that's kind of normal, and the FIA's road safety programme has been very much about trying to get them to understand that and get them to just take into account the difference that they can make. And by using famous sports people from a lot of different genres, that's helping out. It's good to see the FIA involved in some things other than motorsport. They're involved in a lot of that kind of safety side of things too. Technology too. So much of the technology on your road cars comes from motorsport in the short term or the long term. Cars finally pulling up to the grid. The recovery in turn 2 is complete. David Mellier removed from the car and taken away in an ambulance for a checkup. And the very fact that they've removed him from the car points towards them being comfortable that he is in a good condition. Here we go then, Q4, race 5, Euro RX qualifying coming to a close with 2 more runs. René Munich and Robin Larsen, P2 and P3. Thomas Brindersen, P8. Look, Tamas Karai, P5. Mikko Ikonen in 11th. Could do with coming up just a little way further than that. Larsen took the TQ in UK, Norway, Sweden and Germany. But he was beaten in Germany by Brindersen. So he's looking for at least, I guess he was looking for a clean sweep of wins, but obviously that's not going to happen now. But he could maybe get a clean sweep of TQs. He won 3 sessions in the UK, 2 in Norway and 3 in Sweden. Germany? I can't remember. Dan Rook. Here we go, can he win the start? He can't. Brindersen won the start easily. Munich and Larsen have gone backwards instantly. Brindersen turns in with Karai behind him. Ikonen as well, who needed a good result, might get one from this. Larsen holds forward. Munich's up his inside, but can't find a way through. Larsen looks to go up the inside of Ikonen on the run down. He's got his nose inside, almost drops in on the brakes. Ikonen sideways. Larsen's going to have to go joking. Now he doesn't. Both him and Munich looked like they wanted to, and they did. And Munich just inside. Larsen sideways on the dirt. So these guys might well drop back down. Most importantly, they want to stay top 4.
Yeah, they need to stay top 4 to get themselves on the front row of the grid for the semi-finals, but that really didn't work out in Robin's favour there, did it? He ended up going backwards for a long way compared to what he was going down on the way into turn 3, so he's going to be hoping to turn that around, but he's up behind qualifying session. He's super sideways into the gravel bank.
Just about holds on. Ikonen up the inside. Now he goes to the Joker, but Ikonen's already been, and they're absolutely equal on time. Larson will be committed through here, but surely, yeah, Ikonen's well out in front, so this isn't ideal.
Larson's really not having a good race this time out. He's got 2 more laps to try and turn it around. But out in front, Brinton's got 1.4 right behind him, so he's almost got enough to Joker and come back out in the lead.
Brinton with a great gap. Karai just 1.4 behind. Ready Munich has he got over Larson. He's 2 seconds on Larson. Munich could have gone then. Trying to see how much this is going to affect Larson. A little. I don't think he's going to drop out of the top 4. Looking at the point scores prior to this, then I didn't think Andreas Backer was going to drop off the top qualifier spot. You know, if you get down into the pack, when you're at the front, down here, there's a couple of tenths here, a couple of tenths there. Once you drop to say P7, you can be 1 second slower and be P15. You know, look at free practice on Saturday morning. 14 cars was it within 0.8 of a second in world. It's close. So your 2 second mistake isn't just 2 seconds. It can be 8 places.
Yeah, it is hard to try and keep the speed up. You need to have consistent laps every time, and Robin's really not done that on this session, so it's going to be hampering him a lot. It looks like he could be getting Munich around the outside here. He's got the inside line for the Joker, and he slides it in and gets the move done.
Just in front of Munich, which is good because Munich is just behind him in the qualifying points. Brinton takes it and goes fastest. 1.1 quicker, so Brinton has finally pushed Evshen off the top spot. So Evshen is he P2? Well, we'll find out for you in just a second.
So then, Johan, you're now hoping that the last race doesn't go quicker at all.
Yeah. We'll await a message with interest. Yeah, good drive, Brinton. So that's a great response because Brinton is down in P8. Ahead of him, Antoine Mas, Gaetan Serrazin, Tamas Karai. They're all only a couple of points ahead of him. So Brinton could potentially drag himself up to 5th. I think 4th might be a bit of a big ask, but we'll find out. I say we've just got 1 race to go. Karai behind Brinton and Ikonen, Larson and Munich 4th and 5th. So Larson and Munich going 6th and 7th. Sondra Evshen is in 2nd place. It was a great time by Sondra. Still ahead of Tamas Karai and Ikonen. Karai was 2nd in this one. He's only 2.2 off the back. We've got the fastest race, or some of the fastest drivers still to come. Both the De Bourg brothers in this last one. Serrazin, Mas, Julio. So it's an all-French race, in fact. 5 French drivers in the last race of qualifying, so the crowd will get to cheer whatever happens.
Yeah, they've just got to pick their favourite driver now, haven't they? But we just watched the little hesitation from Larson there, and that cost him, and then it cost him again, running too wide on turn 2. Ikonen slotted up the inside, no problem at all, but Larson knew he was going for the Joker lap, so he just got the undercut and went for the Joker.
When he hooked that wheel on the dirt on the outside there, the gravel trap, that flung him back across the track.
Yeah, he was lucky that no one was obviously there for him to collect on the way out of the corner.
Great job by Thomas Brinderson. Larson managing to pit Munich. Maybe a few changes at the top of the table. We've only got a few minutes to wait to find out.
Thomas, quickest so far. That's just what you needed, wasn't it?
Yeah, for sure. We haven't got the pace the whole weekend, so yeah, we tried some other stuff on the car, and I tried to push my best, so it was a bit better, but still we have improvement, but yeah, we try.
See you in the semis.
Thank you.
Just 1 race left in qualifying. The De Bourg brothers are lining up alongside each other, saying this isn't all French affairs. These guys will almost certainly have raced each other in French rally. Well, certainly these 3 on the outside, Serrazin, Massé and Boulot, will all have raced each other in French Rallycross. The De Bourgs, of course, have been taking part in Andros Trophy and Euro RX, so maybe not so much on the national scene. But 1st and 4th after Q3 for JB De Bourg and Andrea De Bourg. Gaetan Serrazin 6th, Antoine Massé 7th, and Boulot 9th. So they're all pretty safe, as long as no one does anything stupid in turn 1. French flags aplenty. on the side windows of these. Definitely going to be a French win, but who's it going to be? Good start by both of the balls on the inside. JB's got that inside line. Andrea certainly won't turn into Antoine. Mas comes around the outside. As I say that, JB runs wide. And Andrea's got nowhere to go. And Mas comes through. Serrazan up to third place. In the background, Bulio seems to have dropped off the back of the pack. Ran a bit wide, but onto them again on the brakes. Serrazan goes Joker straight away.
Yeah, Andrea looked like he wanted to go into the Joker that then, but watched Serrazan in front of him go in, so opted not to. But yeah, we say the brothers working together, but that didn't quite go to plan off the start then, I didn't think.
So Massey with that great livery on the car, proper fighter jet livery, putting on a proper fight here as well. Jamie de Bourg and Andrea de Bourg, only Serrazan as Joker at the back of the pack. 2.8 off. Serrazan's almost off the back of Bulio already. None of the top three go. Fortunately for Serrazan, Bulio doesn't go either.
Would have made sense to me for Andrea to go in. I mean, he's got the gap behind him.
Just split the strategy, you mean, or?
Yeah, just so that they split it up, because then I'd imagine JB would then go in on this lap to then try and overlap Mas. But yeah, I mean, no one's holding each other up, though, are they? It's not like they're in a massive fight to try and get in front of each other.
They're doing 36.6s. Brinderson was in the 36.3. Both Mas and De Bourg, JB De Bourg are on the 36.6s. Joker lap now for JB. So JB's going to try and nail a good Joker and a good last lap. Whereas Mas and his brother Andrea are going to have to go now. Bulio as well. Serrazan seemingly unable to get onto the back of Bulio at the back of the pack. There are the two De Bourg brothers. So here's our predictor. We're saying 2.0. The gap is 1.8. So at the minute, De Bourg will not get him, we think. But Thomas has still got to get the job done. Into the right-hander over the crest. Here he comes. Andrea De Bourg behind the crowd screaming. Go on. French person to win, definitely. Mas has got him. So JB De Bourg and Andrea De Bourg coming out in the same positions they went in. The target on the side of the car looking like it's had a bit of action in this one, but Antoine Massey takes it. 2:32.7. It's going to see him go into, down in third place, I think.
God damn it, Kristoffersen was right.
Yeah. That was my thoughts exactly. So that means that Sondre Evjen holds on to P2 and Johan Kristoffersen is right. So even though he's not here and he won 11 out of 12 events last year, he's still winning while he's not here. Well done, Johan.
Yeah, well done, mate.
Dan, I said top three, Dan, you were wrong. Small things. 5 French cars. It was Massa came out on top of the two Bourg brothers, Serrazan and Bulio. There you go, Brinderson at the top, Evjen P2. I just had a message from Matthias Ekstrom. He said Evjen P1 in Q4, so Matthias was very impressed with that drive.
From the Alps?
Yeah, from the Alps. Matthias is having a lovely time somewhere in the Alps. There's a beautiful view behind him, but apparently he's finding time to watch some rallycross as well. Come on, Matthias, get on the phone to Cupra. Let's see if we can get them to come and do some rallycross. That's what we want to see. Your mate Timo Scheider's doing right in the Saturday. We can have a Cupra one here. Come on, get amongst it. So all the predictions coming in. I know we've got some of you at home who like to gamble on the results as well. Had a message yesterday, Josh Alderman likes to bet with his dad against who's going to win what races. Everybody enjoyed watching the action. We hope you've enjoyed all the qualifying here. Of course, we've only got semi-finals and finals to come. Antoine Massey took that one, but the session goes to Brinderson.
Antoine, you did exactly what you had to do to make sure you're in the semi-finals. How was it?
The feeling is good. Look, I'm happy to win my first hit here in the European Championships. My first time here, my first time in Loyac, so yeah, I'm happy to that. So the speed was okay, but not enough to Bretagne third, but finished third. I think third is okay. It's okay. It's good for the semi-final. I hope to be on the second row, and no, will be good.
See you in the semi.
Thank you.
Here are your standings at the end of qualifying. Then it is JB de Bourg who takes the top qualifier spot. So it's a Frenchman on pole in semi-final 1. Robin Larson, the European Rallycross Championship leader, will be on pole in semi-final 2. Brinderson has managed to drag himself up to third. Fantastic performance by him. He, of course, is chasing Larson in the standings of 1 last time out. René Munich is 4th. Then it's Andrea de Bourg, Antoine Massé, Tamas Karai, Gaëtan Serrazin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Frenchmen in. Sondre Evgen makes it into P12. He's equal on points with Stéphane de Ganay, but because he had the better result in the last session, he gets the nod. Eken and Guillaume and Bouliot ahead of him. So 6 French people in. Sondre Evgen with that brilliant performance on which some of the world's best rallycross drivers were gambling has got himself into P12. So fantastic stuff. Hope you guys have really enjoyed it. It's been a long old stint for us today, and I'm sure a long stint for you today. Get those sofas out in the sunshine and get yourselves ready for this afternoon, because, of course, we've got semi-finals and final coming up from the World Rallycross Championship and also the final for Euro RX. They've got 1 round left to go. So we'll have a look at the championship connotations. Don't think anyone's going to be able to tie up a championship here. So RX2's close, but we're doing the maths at the minute. Join us later on, TV_listings on the FIA World Rallycross Championship website. That'll give you where you can watch locally. Remember, it's an hour later than normal. So the 2-hour show starts at 3 p.m. French time. That's CET, and that's 4 p.m. for the finals through to 5. We will see you later.